Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Some people do not respect people with disabilities. In our first story, one horrible lady decided to ruin the trip to our OP. Well, let's see what happened. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. You can stand for one stop. Okay. Alright, so this happened just under 2 years ago while I was living in New York City. I am, on the younger side of what the public expects to see for a cane user. And other than having the cane, I don't look disabled. Also, just because I know it's going to be asked, I have the cane because of hypermobility issues that have basically led to my joints not functioning as they should. Essentially, it helps keep me from falling randomly, overstraining my already taxed muscles. Also, those of you who have ridden on New York City subways might know this already, but every New York City subway car has seats that are designated as handicapped. These seats are to be vacated and given to anyone disabled, elderly, pregnant, injured, etc. You can definitely sit there if you aren't handicapped in some way, but it's a fine if you don't give up your seat when someone who needs it comes along. There's actually nothing other than manners forcing you to give up your seat in the rest of the train. That said, even in New York City, most people tend to automatically offer up a seat when they see a cane. New York City subways are especially brutal on my condition if I have to stand. The constant, unpredictable need to shift my weight leaves my muscles in agony after even a short ride. I always try to board by the handicap seats, that way at least I wasn't putting someone out of the regular ones. A lot of folks will pretend not to see you, but eventually they realize you caught them staring and they offer up the seat. One day I got on the A train at Columbus Circle heading north after a long day of work. The train was pretty crowded and every seat was full. A guy sitting in one of the handicap seats saw me and jumped up. The young lady standing in front of him hadn't seen me and sat down. This happens sometimes, women assuming they were being given the seat by a chivalrous man. But most women would see me and realize what had happened. The lady saw me just as the man gives her a WTF look. I hadn't planned on saying anything because invisible disabilities are a thing, and I tend to freeze with confrontation anyway. But I must have had a puzzled look or something, because the lady goes, "Someone else can give you a seat." I look around, every other handicapped seat is occupied by someone who obviously needs it. Elderly, pregnant, etc. So I just say, well, they're all people who are supposed to be sitting in these seats. It's a fine if you sit here and aren't handicapped while someone who is doesn't have a seat. I was still tired and a bit startled to be pulled into a confrontation. Lady: "Well then, it's a fine for all of them." She points to the regular seats. Me: "No, just the ones with those signs." I point to the sign directly above her head declaring the seats as handicapped. Lady: "Well, you can stand for one stop." Now, I could probably have gotten a regular seat from someone nicer than this woman, but the subway had already started moving at this point and I needed to hold on. That and, well, I'm stubborn and petty, so I stand in the crowded car right in front of her, my cane an inch from her kneecap for the express trip to 59th to 125th. Those of you who've experienced the joy of an express New York City subway train ride, you know they're not gentle. They speed along, bouncing, swaying, and jostling without a care in the world. I'm in agony in no time flat. But I'm not the only one. Every jerk of the subway car sends my cane hard into this lady's kneecap. I don't have to intentionally do anything more than just stand there. Actually, I'm trying to stay as immobile as possible, but this particular operator is driving like he's late for his own wedding. She tries to shift, but I'm all up in her business. Grab bar's right above her, after all. We get to 125th and she tries to stand, but I don't move. She did want me to stand, after all. She eventually shoves past me up out of her seat. I'm fine because the car's too crowded for me to fall or anything, but doesn't make it out of the car in time. By that time, I've gratefully taken the seat she vacated, so she has to stand until we get to 145th. At that point, she got off. I assumed to get on going the other direction, and I never saw her again. And our second story. Karen mistakes a parking yard with an auto shop. So yesterday I was told by my dad to stop by his work and change my tires from winter to summer ones. I arrived just when they were having lunch, so maybe that's why things had to come to the point they came. I loaded the tires and tools on a cart and moved it closer to my car. Around 5 minutes into, a car I've never seen arrives, and it looked really strange because it was a typical BMW SUV with a female coming out of it, and parking space for customers is in front of my dad's work, not behind it. So I'm looking at her. What's she gonna do? When she came close enough to me, she could hear my car radio blasting, so she gestured to lower the volume. So that's exactly what I did. The conversation went like this. Me is me. Karen is the woman. Dad is dad. Me. Can I help you? Karen. Yes. When can I come and pick my car up? Me. Not knowing she thinks I'm an auto shop. I don't know. Whenever you want, I guess? Karen. Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to go to Tesco and buy some stuff. I'll be back in 15 minutes. She then proceeds to leave the keys on my cart and walks off. By now, I'm kind of confused. What did she want from me? I assume she wanted me to look after her car because it's quite common that other people bump with their doors into your car and just leave. So I didn't take that as a problem since it was parked a few meters from me. After maybe 30 minutes, she comes back with 2 bags. Karen, are the tires changed? Me. What tires? Karen, tires on my car, of course. Have you changed them already? For clarification, I can get easily pissed off if people talk to me like I'm some slave of theirs, but it takes a lot more to make me effing lose it. Me. Why the hell would I change your tires? Karen, because you already pulled tires out of your shop and have the tools out, so that means you're open for business. Now I've realized what's going on. Me. Do I look like an auto shop? Now Karen has made a big effing mistake. Karen, are you deaf or what, you fat moron? You have tools and tires out on a cart, so shut the F up and change my tires. This is the point when I snap. Let me just tell you that Czech language is very rich on swear words, and we can make a swear out of almost any word, so the translation might not be 100% precise. Me. You effing sack of crap, who do you think you are? Or who do you think you're talking to? You better get the F out of here before I shove the jack right up your butt. Karen. How effing dare you speak to me like that? You're lucky my husband isn't with me, otherwise he would F you up. Now get the F to changing my tires before I slap your ugly butt face. Now my dad's coming out from the back door because you wouldn't hear us screaming only if you were deaf. Dad. What's going on? Karen, your employee is refusing to change my tires and is being very rude and disrespectful to me. Dad. He's not our employee. And we don't change tires. What the F are you doing back here anyway? Karen, I'm here to get my tires changed because my stupid husband doesn't know how. Interesting how her husband went from effing me up to not being able to change stupid tires. Dad, we're not an auto shop, so shut your GD mouth and leave our parking lot. Now, I should say that I was still holding a pipe from my jack because otherwise I'd already smack her. Karen, so you are rude, disrespectful, and confusing me instead of telling me that you're not an auto shop? At this point, I saw her getting ready to slap me, so I did the most simple and probably the best thing I could do. I just raised my hand so when she was already in motion of hitting me, she hit the pipe. After that, she screamed in pain, ran to her car, and just drove off. When she was backing up, I got a look at her plate. Unsurprisingly, she was from Prague, and people from Prague usually get lost in small cities or villages. When my dad asked what the hell was that, I just answered, just another Karen from Prague, and we had a laugh about it. And just for clarification, no, she couldn't get hurt much because the impact on her hand on the pipe wasn't even strong enough for me to lose grip of it. Also, you'll be surprised, but the place my dad works at sells switches and overall stuff for electricians. And there's not a single shop that would change tires in a 2-kilometer radius. Her husband is stupid? Sounds like she's the stupid one in that household. And our last story. Maybe you should read your contract before insisting your landlady to do something. My mom rents out 2 houses. One is the house she bought when she married her first husband. One is the house her first husband lived in after they divorced. When he died, my brother inherited it. I'm from the second marriage, and he asked my mom to manage it. Both houses are rented out to the city they're located in, and they use it as social housing for refugees. Because of this, they pay less rent than is usual for the area, but to make up for that, they have pretty unique clauses in their contract, e.g. that they're responsible to fix anything that wasn't caused by weather. That's not legal to do in a contract with private persons, but since the renter's the city, it's legal. Recently, the city approached my mom and told her that some appliances broke, and since the people living there didn't notify the city immediately, water seeped into the walls and caused mold to form within the walls. They assumed that the same rules as for private renters would apply to them and demanded that my mom should renovate. My mom told them that they should have a look at their contract, point 4, sentence 2. Yes, she even gave them the exact sentence they should look at. They insisted and also told her that she needed to hire companies that work with the city to do the renovation because they would only trust those companies. My mom then asked if that means they're delegating the organization to her and are unwilling to work with any other companies, and they said yes. She acted. She organized everything and let the bills be sent to the city. The city returned the bills, stating that Mom has to pay them. My mom sent them a copy of the contract with the applying sentences highlighted and told them that if they refused to pay, she'd have to go to a lawyer, and those costs would add to that. The city denied any responsibility for paying. They took it to court because our courts are notoriously overwhelmed with cases, and out-of-court settlement was advised. When presented with everything, the person from the court told the city they were definitely in the wrong, but then the city said that my mom deliberately chose the most expensive companies and they would only pay for a part of the bill because of that. Well, my mom had it in writing that they ordered her which companies to hire, so that was quickly resolved. Had they told my mom, listen, could you organize it and have the bill sent to us? She'd have picked companies within about half of that cost, but, well, that's life. They kept pushing their bluff and were called on it. Good for Mom. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.